Apparently my internet is not having fun today. Is this not the right one? Okay, this is the right one. Alright, according to the Streamlabs OBS, I have been dropping some frames. Fortunately, I can't go to the old one, and so there we are. So the one person who came back to the stream, thanks, welcome back. I'm just gonna keep working, because that's what I came here to do. Should I add everyone again? I did it. Hi, Mike. Alright, so I don't know, that's twice today that my internet has crapped out. Keep on keeping on indeed. Alright, so where was I? So the data loaded, which is excellent. Now we have to do stuff with that data, and so I want to do the loading of loot, but I realize I need to confirm that my save and load is going to work between scenes. So what I need to do is create a second scene, and the ability to go back and forth between those two scenes. The plan is that when you are about to leave a scene, it will save. Now this stuff doesn't disappear on load. It stays. So when you then come to the new scene, it will populate that scene with the same method we just worked on, including placing the player and all that. So yeah. So I'm going to actually turn this. I just want to see if suddenly we are facing a different position than this when we start. We are. Okay. Are we in the right position? Nope. So I'm just going to pull this out so we can see. We should be at this, and we are instead at this. So we should be here, and we are instead here. So, let's confirm that the player is loading the right position and all that. And while I'm at it, this script, this method's probably too long, but okay. Hey, Brian. JSON serializer. You gotta make your own serializer, and then it can be the JSON storyalizer. Alright, setup player. Okay. Active scene setup. So this will set up all the loot and stuff. Repositories. Okay. don't actually need to pass anything here because we've got that saved. So scene data is actually going to be scene or data.active scene data. Cache it. We'll set those. These are whether we show the player and stuff. Okay. Oh, an old-fashioned now. I think it's loading player position properly. So if I take this way over here, just put these in here, this is where the player should be when I load. And they're not. Supposed to be the scene player start position. And scene data, player start position. 384, 235. 384, 235. But the player is not there. Sounds like a job for a debug log. Should set to scene data dot player start position, and then is currently player object dot transform dot position. Is now. Should be a different position. Gizmos. No, this music is actually from artlist.io. And I can only use my own stuff and this stuff because of the whole copyright issue. this music will not be copywritten on YouTube. So some of the songs I've picked from for making videos. Look at that. It says it's now, but it's not. It somehow gets moved back or something. Because if I move this out, it's clearly not. It is exactly where it was. I must be moving it back at some point. Or something. Or something. Dealio, yo. All right, let's try to do a gizmo. Because clearly, should set it to that. It's currently that. Sets it, and it's now that. But then, oop, it's not that. So somewhere along the line, it changes it again. But let's try gizmo. Because that is something I've wanted to learn. Gizmos has always been hard for me for some reason. So we can put a gizmo in place, says Jason Story, on the active scene object. Show it draws a sphere in the editor where it thinks the player will go. All right, the active scene object. That's this object. And so we'll load this up. Welcome back, Tyler. Yeah, I think a lot of people may have been in that situation. I think we had more viewers in the last stream. So, oops. I wish there was a way to, like, I don't know, forward. But, alright, so. On draw gizmos function. I'm going to put that up here. Gizmos. So, on draw gizmos. And in here, gizmos dot draw sphere, and we're gonna put this on scene data dot player start position, radius of 1. Okay, that's really straightforward. Gizmos dot color. I just keep seeing the gremlins in my head, just so you all know. And we will say new color 0 0. Let's do RGB. So do 0.5 or 4. Okay, 0.4. Fs. Oh, okay. If no scene data, return. Or C equals null, return. So there it is. So if I move this, booyah! Look at that. It's amazing. Thanks, Jason. All right. So now we need to figure out why it sets it here, but the player does not end up there. So player object transform. So yeah, I need to remove this one track from the playlist. I'm going to do that right now. What's playing? Horizons. Horizon. There's two called Horizon. Crazy. Remove from playlist. How do you remove? Remove from playlist. Remove song. Shuffle. There we go. That won't happen now. It's not too scary. But we didn't get into the second part, which is the line gizmo that shows which way it's supposed to point based on the rotation. And that gets into trigonometry or something. And that is scary. It's my Halloween costume this year, trigonometry. Alright, setup player is not working right. Is there a different type of position? World position? Nope. Not going to be local position. It needs to be world position. Clearly, it's another job for debug log. Hello, Fredo. Alright. Does this ever say anything else? So, I just don't know. It seems to not move. Unless one of these is doing it, or something in between this and here. Sanity check to all those watching, just to make sure I'm doing a basic thing right. This is the right way to set the position, right? Player transform position. Yeah, gizmos are something I should use more. I've always been aware of that. I just never had good luck with all the draw lines and whatnot before, and so I kind of, you know, ignored it. God damn it, though. Yeah, it is right. Alright, what happens after setup player? Let's just start going through it. Nothing happens. Or that's the end. That's the last step, saying up the player. Player tick. Let's see. Anything here? Check connections. Check condition expirations. Position. Transform dot position. Nope. Just searching. Nope. Okay. I assign the start position on the scene, active scene, and that's where this gizmo is. I'm going to press play once more because I did move the position of this debug log. So I just want to see if it prints out more than one here. Hello. I've been doing them more frequently, these streams, Eraser. And I think I'll keep doing them for the time being because I enjoy it. They're a little tiring, but I do enjoy it. And I wish, well, I have a day job, and that takes things during the week. So there's that, but I would do it more. I would love to have it on a schedule, you know, where I do like 3 mornings and 3 evenings, or 4 mornings, 4 evenings every week, something like that. Maybe do a weekly office hours where I could just answer any questions about Infinity PBR stuff or other things. 'Cause I know a couple people had questions in the Discord, and I was like, come on to the chat and I'll sidetrack and answer the questions. But a reference check by right-clicking on the player in Rider. What do you mean by that? But earlier, to answer the question, Jack, so I set it here, and in here we should set it to this. It's currently this. Then we set it, and now the position is this. But then somewhere there, the position reverts. I'm not sure why. So, I don't know why. No. There's only one player. No, only one player. Reference check by right-clicking on the player in Rider. What's a reference check? Like, go into here. Player object. It's on game. Just to follow that thread. Player object is player. Yep. Maybe it's in here. Nope. Position. There's nothing about position in my control. There shouldn't be. This is just about moving, not for setting. Position. Filled positions, distances, drawing rays. See, draw rays. I have tried it. So, let's see. When you're saying your active player and gain active player are the same player. Yep, same player. I don't instantiate the player at all, actually. It's part of the scene, part of this required objects. So there will only be one. So where your player position is being set, you can look for all usages on a right click, and it'll tell you everyone who sets that value and where. What? Really? So where my player position is being set. Where your player position is being set, you can look for all usages on a right click, and it will tell you everyone who sets that value and where. Find usages. I've never used this. Holy shit. There's a lot of usages. I think I right-clicked the wrong thing. Three usages. Four usages. Update. So it's only, if I'm reading this correctly, it's only these three and the other log that just says what the position is. Fair enough. Okay, so how about this? I'm gonna try to do some best practice updates. So if we look at my player object, this is the one that needs to set its position. So we add a new player object. Wait, I already have one? Do I use this? I'm gonna... Okay, I'm gonna steal this. this should set those things. Oh. All right, so now I have it in one place, right here. So let me say log setting position to new position. Log say rotation to new rotation, and we will confirm these things. Position is now rotation is now, and we will then not do the logs out here. And we get to choose a color for this. This could be one of my new favorite things, except that we have this bug now. Oh, this is an old entire object would get a nice brownish, orangish color. All right, let's see if it still has the same issues. I'm sure it will, because we didn't really change anything, except for the way we do the setting and the checking. Here we go. So, same position to that, and rotation to that, and that's the same rotation. Okay, same thing in the end. But the player is indeed not at those at that position. And we see that here. A conundrum. A puzzle. A vexing situation. A head scratcher. I'm scratching my head, so this is definitely a head scratcher. I'm leaning back, stretching and scratching my head all at the same time. This is a problem. But it's only 7:50. I started the stream early because I know I've got work tomorrow and I haven't been sleeping that well recently. And earlier today I was seeing a video about biphasic sleeping and thinking, well, that sounds cool. But then thinking, but then I don't really want to go to bed. And then what would I do at 3 a.m. when I wake up for an hour? And I thought, would I do a stream? But then that would just wake me up, so I wouldn't go back to sleep. And then I woke up for the day because I had been just laying in bed thinking about things like that. Walk through your code, attach an editor to Unity, and set a breakpoint and follow it. All right, let's try that, Brian. We as in me, I use the royal we a lot. We started doing that earlier today. So let's do that. Here's the breakpoint. I'm looking for the blue arrow. Do I have to press play here? Yes, I do. All right, blue arrow, blue arrow. I see a yellow arrow. Nope. Blue, oh, this blue arrow, okay. Step into, smart step into, and run to statements. Okay, I'm gonna do step, set position rotation. What? Oh, this is the debug. Interesting. There's a whole lot. How do I move on to the next line here? Do I have to click this a whole bunch? Step over? Okay, step over. That works. New position. Mm-hmm. 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 Huh. Alright, now it's just going into other stuff. I don't know. Nothing stuck out. It did the same thing that showed the debugs and showed the position moving. The only other thing that does the player object, as far as I know, is here, and this is just setting that object to be true or false, on or off. That's just that. Gonna try something. The only place in the whole project that shows up is in game. So unless it's being set by something else, I don't actually think so, Jason. I'll tell you why. I wrote the character controller and it's extremely simple. But let's see. Position. Nope. Okay. So, in our character controller, we have our mouse look, strafing, which is the move right value, and what is move right value? Move forward value. Input. Oh, here we go. This is the actual move forward. It uses this value, which is this, and essentially 1 or -1. The Unity character controller? This one? Let's see, it's already disabled. Does it get enabled? It does get enabled. So you're saying I should disable it, set the position, then enable it? Let's see. Oh, shit. You guys are geniuses. If there wasn't a pandemic, I'd totally buy you all a drink. But, you know, there's a pandemic, so I'll just say thank you instead. Totally the same thing as buying you a drink. So that was it. Good job. You did it. See, who said streaming was a bad idea? No one ever. Yeah, you can go get a drink. Nicely done, all of you. So thank you for that. That was quite a bit of work digging into it, and it was a conundrum that actually has been plaguing me for a while. Is that faster? Having a variable for this enabled? Yep, that was it, Chris. That's all it was. This will set the player's position and rotation, Euler angles, really, and will disable the character controller before and enable it again after thanks to helpful suggestions from the fine folks on the stream. And I suppose there's always a chance that I don't want it to be enabled again after. So I should say var enabled equals character controller enabled. Just cache that value and then reset it to that after. Character controller enabled. So cache this value just in case it's already false. Or, even better, I guess that'll work. It's essentially a credit, yeah. Let's see, I can write all your names here. We got Chris Baker and Paul Binder and The Bull and Jason Story and Corey Ronald and anyone else? Tyler Q. And Jack, of course, Jack. Yep. That's all the folks who are talking right now, it looks like. See? Oh, and your Razor's here. And see, Athena's owl is not here, but Fredo is. 88888888. I think that's 8 8s. All right. There you go. Now you are forever memorialized or immemorialized in the code. All right. All right. So the whole point of that, I'm like shaking my hands. I don't think we have Hugh Nips here. Sure, Fredo, you were here. Just because you didn't say anything doesn't mean you weren't participating. The whole point of that was to be able to move scenes. And I wonder if I have another scene asset in here of mine. Dungeon. I think I do have the dungeon. Ooh. This is the old dungeon? It looks like the old dungeon. I don't see any scenes though. Demo scenes. Oh, here we are. Dungeon Demo 1. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, this is the good one. This is not the first one. This is the second one. So, I'm going to make a copy of this. We're going to call this Dungeon. And we're going to move Dungeon Scenes. Oops. Demo Scenes. Dungeon into our scenes. And we will load up that one. This is going to be exciting. Now we need to figure out what we do and don't need. We're going to call this dungeon objects. We don't need this. We don't need the music. Keep that. We don't need the main camera. We'll keep the sound effects. We don't need the FPS controller. This directional light's turned off, so we'll delete that too. Oh yeah, that's okay. That's fine. We keep that, keep that, keep that, keep that, keep that, keep all that dungeon objects. And then we need to put in our prefabs. This is probably why I made it a prefab. Legend of the Stones, required objects, and scene. So we will move both of these to the dungeon itself. All right, we'll make the player start. I don't know. In front of this hallway there. So this player start position, just 0 is fine. Put it here, and we'll move it right there. Scene name is going to be called Dungeon. I'm going to make a UID, which is going to be gibberish-gibberish. No loot boxes. Log settings will be this color. Okay, that should be it. We are showing the player. And then I'm going to go back to the other and make sure I've done an override on the required objects there. Scene. Iron port. Okay, go back to dungeon. And we'll just press play and see if it works. Now, in theory, it should just work. It should put the player there. It should start, put the data in. Let's just see. All right, so the player fell through. All right, I think. Alright, player didn't get put in the right position or something. Oh. What the heck? Okay. Let's make the start a little higher. Just in case, I'm going to also do this. Okay. Scene. What is art? Aha. So, Clearly, I've got depth of field on the portraits as well. But it works. This is the dungeon pack, by the way, the Dungeon 2 beta. Technically, it's beta, but I mean, that's only because I want to do more to it. Alright, so it loads just fine. The trick now is to make it load between the two scenes. And we have a null reference too. I want to check that. What is the null reference? Event system? There's no event system? What do we have in Ironport? It's definitely something sold on the asset store. Because I don't do enough shameless plugs, go to Infinity PBR, click the All Assets. It's the affiliate link. Thank you for clicking the All Assets. And then you go to Dungeon 2 Beta 1.2 and you can get the Dungeon 2 package for yourself. It's not free. It's free for me apparently, but for you, 26 bucks. Is that what the price is right now? It's not terribly expensive, but it's the scene that you've seen just now, all set up in its glory. So there you go. There you go. Now, active scene, window manager. I don't know what this is. This is not mine. Oh, this is the UI. I wonder if I need that. I don't even know. Okay, so there is supposed to be an event system. I guess I'll move that over. Prefabs. Those are the stones. Event system. Alright. Now, we'll see if we still get the same errors. Okay, we can get rid of this. So, what we want to do is create a trigger. I mean, it doesn't have to be a trigger. We're going to create a method of pinging the player, do you want to go to a different scene? And that object will also set the position of the next scene. Probably through, well, maybe player prefs actually, because they won't always have the data for the next scene, and we don't always want to load the default start position. Sometimes we do, but if there's like two entrances to a castle and we don't know which entrance the player is going into, we're gonna have to somehow force that, even though we don't have the data, so we can't set it in the data, etc. So, in this scene, I'm going to just make a trigger box by this door. So if we go into this, and I'm also going to create a light in there. Point light. We're going to make it blue. And we're going to put it in here. And then we're going to call this exit to iron port. We're going to bring this forward, make it bigger. Alright, we're going to turn off the renderer. Don't need that either. And we're going to make this a trigger. And we're going to add a script. And the script is going to be called scene exit. And on scene exit, we want some method of so private void on trigger enter collider, oops, collider dot other or collider. Okay. Oh shoot, what did I just do? I don't know what I did. Hopefully I didn't mess everything up. Alright. I can? How do you set the project-wide namespace? Under editor settings in Unity? Wait, did I see it? No. Root namespace? Ah, okay. So now we know how long the lag is. So infinity PBR dot legend of the stones. Like that. Spelled correctly though. Just make sure. Okay. Huh, thanks. I did not know that. All right, so they're not all exits are going to be a trigger, because some might be a door that you have to click, and if you click the door, then it will say, "Do you want to exit?" I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. Some might be automatic, where if you step onto it, it automatically moves you and doesn't ask you. So I guess this is one of those situations where need to make sure I architect it properly, I suppose. But for this case, I think I'm just going to make it automatic. So when you enter, and I'll just do a public or serialized field. I'm trying to do this better as well. Private bool automatic equals false. We'll make it true, but yeah. And just to double check. The player is layer player tag player layer player, and I have a layer masks. So we're gonna say public layer mask scene exits. Scene exit. Eventually I'll do the rest, more action types and UI pop-ups and all that. For now, what I really want is just to get the player moving back and forth between scenes. And there is a loading scene. It's an asset I got from the asset store that I'm going to use as well. And at some point I'm going to have to make that more pretty and advanced and all that. But for now, I just want to get the functionality working. So we need a couple other things. Destination scene and destination position and rotation. So where they should start when they exit and where they should be looking when they exit. I guess this could be achieved in multiple ways. I could have a list of exit destinations on the other scene and I just call one of those. Good night, Paul. Good night, Tyler. So I think I'm just going to leave it as this for now. Maybe I'll change it later. I think this will work. You're a unique creature, Jason. Everyone else I know hates the UI stuff. No, I think for this I'm going to just use player prefs since it's a one-time thing. Or I'll have a variable somewhere in one of the scripts where it just sets that to be its next thing with a boolean equals true that force this destination position rotation. So, I'm gonna cheat here. Oops. And copy the code because I always what? Thought the code would tell me everything I want to know. Fine. If other dot layer dot game object dot layer equals layer mask. Let's see. Is layer in layer mask. Ah, Eric, 5H5. Yeah, the bitwise stuff always, I don't understand it. I don't understand layer mask stuff. It's always, yeah. This is why I was hoping to copy code, because maybe that will work. Let's just see. Yeah, I think after reading the it says C# solution, so I realized this is probably the Unity script solution from over 10 years ago now. If Unity ever gets really rich, they should hire someone to go through those and, you know. Yes, a move between scenes class. Sort of. This one is the manager on moving between scenes, I suppose. So we should see the trigger. Oh, okay. Layer is in layer mask. Perfect. Alright, so in this case, we're just gonna, boom, move the character. We're not gonna do anything like that. And I think I already have a scene loading method somewhere. And that's somewhere. We'll have to look for it on the start screen because it's certainly used there. New game. Menu control, load scene. Okay, so it's on menu control. Okay. Menu control. This needs to be refactored too. But load scene. Scene loader. Good night, Jason Story. It's like 4:30 in the morning. Your sleep schedule. It's aligned with the this half of the world. Thanks again for all your help. Definitely appreciate it. What was I doing with this scene loader thing? Where does this live? Does it live in Ironport? No. Interesting. technically, that should load the other scene. Technically. No, didn't populate the scene. I need to add the scene. Oh, that's not what meant to be. It meant to be. Where's the exit? Scene exit. Unique engine scene. Unity engine scene management scene. Oh, weird. What is this handle? Alright. Change of plans. Oh. Actually, go back, undo, 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 undo. Comment out that, because scene actually does work because it has position and rotation built into it. So I can just call the name and then use the position and rotation that I set right here. So iron port, and I'll just do 000 because I can't remember what they were. It was something like 400 and 300 or something. I have no idea. Destination scene, iron port, player position, player rotation. That is perfectly fine. Okay. Now let's try again. It's not going to set the player rotation position right now. We didn't code that yet. Aha! Look at that. Look at that indeed. No random errors. All these are still being called. Fair enough. Alright, so let's go to Ironport and create one for the dungeon. And I'm going to write down the... Let's move the player to the right spot. Can't do that. So I want the player to be about here, but rotate it around. Okay, so I'm going to write this down with the trusty pen and paper. Dungeon It's negative 67.28, negative 262.64, and 260.051. Probably around those. And then 0, 4, 39, 0. Okay. So that's the dungeon position. And then Ironport. I'm just going to create, I know I don't like gray boxing, but I'm just going to create a gray box. And actually, how about this? I will do gray empty dungeon entrance. And wherever this is, no. Copy this. Alright. So dungeon entrance, we'll move this over here and put this cube up, make ourselves an entrance worthy of a dungeon. Oops. Textures and materials. Do I have a materials folder? Materials. Gray. Dark dungeon. Create empty light. Then we need the actual entrance itself. Trigger. Scene exit, and we are going to dungeon at negative 68, negative 262, 260. It's close enough. 0, 439. Automatic, yes. And this is where we want the player to exit when they exit the dungeon. So we're going to put this aside, and this is going to be 388 and 13 and 243 and 0 151 0. Okay, then delete that, save the scene, go back to the other scene, dungeon, and exit to Ironport. We will put in our destination, -388, 13, 243, and 151. Save that, press play, see if it works. Okay, so, okay, it started working. One thing, I'm going to have to stop the player movement during the scene loading. It's also supposed to show an actual scene loading screen. So, I don't know if the rotation was right, but the position's definitely wrong. Oh, because I didn't set the position. I just saved it. Okay, well, let's just see if this works too. Oh, that's there. Oh, there we go. Did not work. I think I know why. On our dungeon scene, we changed the layer mask, but we did not update the prefab. This is something that I always have to remember to do. Oh, didn't find a scene with dungeon. That's probably because I didn't set it in the build settings. Build settings. Add open scene. Okay. But this isn't enough to be worthy of a cocktail. Therefore, I do need to set the positions. I need to get that working. So earlier, we solved this whole player position thing. So this happens on set player rotation. And so we're going to say so on my player object, I'm going to add, just in case the game crashes or something, I'm going to save the position and whatnot here. So we will say hide inspector, public bool force position on load equals false, and hide inspector, oops, not header, hide inspector, public vector 3 force position, and hide inspector, public vector 3 force rotation. And what we'll do here is we'll say force position on load, question mark. If so, then we'll do force position. Otherwise, we'll do the position we passed. And same here, force rotation, otherwise new rotation. And then at the end of this, we will also say force position on load equals false. And then on our scene exit, we will say player object. Actually, I want to put that up here using static infinity PBR Legend of the Stones player object, not equipment spots, object. So player object dot force is true, not tuple, true, and player object dot force position equals scene destination scene dot player position, and rotation, force rotation. This should work. I have not played From Dust, never even heard of it. Force the player to load at this position and rotation. Load the scene. Debug or just log. To do. Keep the player from moving after this is called. And also, where is the actual loading scene? I might need to roll my own loading scene. Alright, if there are no errors, perhaps this will work. Just gonna clear this out. Oh. Oh. What? It was right, then it was wrong. Let's see if that happens when we go back. What? Not found any scene with this name. Dungeon. 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 Get scene info. Alright, I'm gonna end up rolling my own. I don't know. This is the problem with using assets from the asset store. Sometimes they don't work and you're like, I don't know why. One thing I will have to fix is this, where it appears the player's in the right position, but wait for it, they get moved. So, somehow they're getting moved. I think that could be because this is being called twice. Where is it? This is being called twice. Not sure. But that is going to be another day. This is good progress. I thank you all again for your help in figuring out what the hell was going on with the player position. I think the next time I'm going to have to change from using the asset for the loading scene and create my own. It's fine. I can do that. And then the position... Figure out why that's happening. I just want to get rid of the scene loading because that could be causing it. Plus, I can't go into the dungeon for some reason, and I have no idea why. But it should work otherwise, so I'll just roll my own. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell icon. And do all the other YouTube things that people do. Whoa, that's bright. There you go. All right, it's time for a chocolate martini. And then hitting the bed a little early tonight because it's going to be another long week at the day job. And yep. It did have its own position, and I think it moved to that after it moved to the right position. I'm not sure exactly why. Smash all the buttons. 13 likes, 6 viewers. Yeah. All right, have a great night, everyone. Thanks for joining.